Hello everybody. In this video, we are going to create a complete URL generator project using React 18, ASP.NET 7 Web API, and also TypeScript. First of all, let's see what is our solution architecture and what's the overall projects we are going to implement. Let's say that we have a user, and this user is have interaction with our front-end project, which is a React 18 project that uses TypeScript, and our user is interacting with this project. On the other hand, we have a backend project, which is an ASP.NET Core and its final version, .NET 7 Web API, and the interaction between our frontend and our backend project will be by using HTTP requests and REST API methods. And also, our backend will have a database, which is a Microsoft SQL Server database, and the interaction between the backend and the database will be managed by ORM. And in this video, we are using Entity Framework Core as our ORM. So let's take a look at the demo of our project. So this is the swagger of our backend, and you can see that on the backend project we have 5 different methods. A post method for API video, this is creating a video, and a get for all of my videos, and a get method for one video by ID, and also a patch method to update my video title, and also a delete method to delete my videos. So let me show you that this is my video entity. I have an ID and a URL and title, and I created that. So for testing them, let's take a look at our frontend project and test them with our frontend. And this is our frontend project. It is a simple project, and we just implemented the basic functionality of CRUD into it. So here we can create a new video. For example, for this video, we have this title, and let's say that this is a title test, and let's save it. So you can see that a new video is created, and if I come here and press try out, you can see that I have this video. By the way, the main focus of this project is to creating this unique URL. So let's say that this is that URL, and you can see that this is unique. So if we create a new one, for example, test2, and save, you can see that it is a completely different and unique URL. Let's create another one with something test, and another one, and also another one. So you can see that they are all using different values, and we on the backend project will make sure that these URLs are unique and they cannot be repeated in our videos. And this is the creation of our videos. Let's check the edit. For example, for this, I will say that this is test1, save. And for the next one, let's edit this. You can see that by editing them, they will come to their specific road, which is, for example, for this one, it is edit video /16. For this one, we say that /edit video /14. And also for the delete, you can see that everyone has its own road. So let's edit the second one. For example, new tutorial of React and TS. Save it. You can see that it is updated, and that's good. And let's check the delete. You can see that we can delete, and by deleting we come to this delete video and its ID, and it says that are you sure you want to delete? If we click back to the list, it will not be deleted, but if we click this yes delete it, you can see that it is deleted. And let's delete the others for test, delete, 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 and also delete the last one. So you can see that all of our CRUD functionalities is working properly, and we are using our backend, and also the code of all our project, both frontend and backend, are uploaded into the GitHub, and you can see the codes from here and check the codes and download it if you want. So let's continue and go to implementation part of our video. So let's start by creating a new folder here for my project. So I say URL Generator .NET React TS, and this is the name of my main folder. So inside of this folder I want to create a new .NET 7 project. So let's open our Visual Studio and create a new project. Here I choose C# and here I say I want API. So I create this one, ASP.NET Core WebAPI. This is the template I want to use, and let's create a name. I simply say this is my backend project because I want to create it inside of this. Let's go here inside this URL generator .NET React TS. So this will be my backend project, and that's it. Let's say next. What is my framework? I need to use .NET 7. You can see that I have installed SDK of .NET 7, so I have access to it. For the authentication, I don't need anyone. Configure, yes. Enable Docker, no. Use controllers, yes. I don't want to use minimal API, so I'll tick this. Enable Open API support to use Swagger, yes. Do not use top level, no. So let's create our project and start using it. Inside of a new project, you have this weather forecast.cs, which is a model. I don't need this, so I delete it. And inside of controllers, I have this demo controller, weather forecast controller. I don't need this, so I delete it. Now I want to have the relation between my project and database. So we need some different steps. Let's create a new entity. First, create a new folder named entities. And here I create a new class. So in some tutorials they say model and some say it is entity, so you can use it with any name you want, but this is the concept that is important. So you need to have a class. I say this is video entity, and that's it. Inside of it I need to have some props. For example, the first thing is a long of ID, and also I need Control Z. Okay. Also, I need to have a prop with the type of string, and its name would be the URL. This is my URL. And also, I need to have a string of title, and I will create a new one with name of created add, and its type is datetime. Its name is created add, and I want to save the date and the time of creation of my video, and here we use the default value of datetime dot no, and that's it. So this is my entity and I want to use it. The next step is to creating our context. So let's create a new folder. It's better to have folders for everything. It is much more cleaner and maintaining it is much more easier. So context, that's it. Let's create a new class and we say application db context, and that's it. So here we need to use the db context of our entity framework core, our ORM. So we need to install some package. Let's do this. Here on dependencies, I say I want to manage NuGet package, and here let's go to the browse section and let it to load the popular NuGet package to see what we need to install. And I want to install Microsoft.NET Framework Core. This is the first one. Check the version. It should match your .NET version. I'm using .NET 7, so I use this version 7 of Microsoft.NET Framework Core. The next thing is Microsoft.NET Framework Core.SQL Server, so we install it. Okay, I accept, and that's it. The next thing is we need to use Microsoft.NET Framework Core.Tools because I want to work with Entity Framework Core CLI, so I use this tools, and okay, and I accept. That's it. Let's go to the installed and check our installed. So you can see that we installed Microsoft.NET Framework Core, Microsoft.NET Framework Core.SQL Server, and Microsoft.NET Framework Core.Tools, and that's it. Let's continue. Here we need to implement the configuration of this context. It inherits from a DB context, and this DB context, let's press Ctrl dot to see the suggestion. It says using Microsoft Entity Framework Core. Let's press enter, and it is it. The next thing is we need to configure it inside of the constructor. I can simply use Ctrl dot again to see the suggestions. You can see that inside of Visual Studio 2022 we have so good suggestions. I choose this one, generate constructor with these options, and press enter. So it created the constructor for us, and it will give an option and pass the options to the DB context using this base, and that's it. Let's create a new prop here. I say DB set of video entity. That's it, and the name of this will be our videos, and that's it. So now I configured my DB context, and the next step is to handling it inside of program.cs so we can use database inside of our services. So this is my DB configuration. And let's use builder.services.add a DB context. This is a generic class, and inside of it you need to have your application DB context class, application DB context, and you need to import it from backend.context. So press enter. It is using backend.context. No, that's good, and this is it. Inside of this parentheses we need to configure it. So we say you can receive an options, and inside these options we say options.use SQL server, and we need to pass the, let me show you here. You can see that we can pass connection string to it, and you can hard code it here, but it's not a good idea. It's better to use it here inside of app setting.json. So let's create a new key here, and we say your name is connection string. You can see that it suggests to us that good, and this connection string is an object. Inside of this object, let's create a new key and new value. The key is local, and its value is our connection string. So let's say your server is dot. I want to use a local server, and your database is a name. For example, let's say URL generator using React and .NET and TypeScript. This is a simple name. You can use any name you want. And then we need to pass username and password, but because I'm using a local database, I can simply say trusted underline connection is true, and that's it. Trusted underline connection is true, and we can use this setting. So its name is local. I can simply come here and use that local by using this builder.configuration with configuration.get connections string. I have access to it. So here, let's press here another parenthesis. That's good. So I say that options.use SQL server, and inside of this, because I want to use connection string which is on app setting, I say builder.configuration.get connection string of local, and that's it. Now let's check everything. You need to open your package manager console. You can simply open it from here, the package manager console, and by pressing this button twice you can have it here in this here inside this bottom of your page, and I have it. So let's say CLS to clear everything and say add a migration. I press tab to see if it's auto-completes or not. Yes, that's good, and it seems that everything is okay. So I say add migration, and you need to add a name. For example, I say initial underline migration, and I press enter to see the result. That's it. Yes, it's created. Let's close everything and come here. You can see that now I have a new folder named migration. It created automatically, and inside of it I have a file with a timestamp and initial migration. This is my migration, and you can see that inside of it this up function, I have the required commands to create my tables inside of database. And also I have this down button where it will use us to drop our tables, and we don't work for this, we just wanted to see the result. So the next thing is we need to send this configuration to database. So let's say update dash database and press tab to complete it. Okay, update database and press enter to see the result. Let's check. It seems that we have a problem. The problem is it said a connection was successfully established with the server, but then an error occurred during the login process. Provider SSL provider error. The certificate chain was issued by an authority. And it seems that this is our problem. So let's go to the app setting.json and here check it. So I say that trust server certificate is true. Trust server certificate is true. This must solve our problem. So let's check it again. Update database. Okay, it said keyword trust server certificate. It says that keyword not supported. Seems you have a problem. Let's check it again. Trust server. Okay, this is the problem. Server certificate. No, it's true. And let's check it again. Update database. Okay, now it said it's done. So let's check our Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio to see the result. Let's say connect. And here let's open our databases. So we said that, let me show you here, we said that your database name would be URL generator, and now we have a URL generator RDTS. That's good. Let's open it, and you can see that I have these migrations, which is not important for us, and I have these videos. Let's design it. So you can see that I have ID, URL, title, created ad, and that's good. Let's select top 1000 rows, and you can see it's empty. That's good. So now we have the relation between our project and our database. And what is the representative of database? Let me show you. It is this context. It has a videos. By using this video, which is a DB set of video entity, we can implement our CRUD functionalities. So let's start it and go to our controllers, create a new one. So I say add controller. I need to use an API controller empty, so add it. And for the name, I say it is a video controller. Make sure to use this controller after this video name. That's good. So now I have a new controller, and here I want to access to my database and implement my functionality. So the first thing is access to DB, and let's comment it. Okay, this is auto completion. I don't want it. And also we need to implement our CRUD functionalities. So in order to access to the database, we can simply say private read only of application DB context with what is its name? Its name is context. And also we need to use the program.cs configurations and inject it into this application context instance. So I simply use control dot again to implement our generator. You can use it and write it all by yourself, but you can simply inside of Visual Studio use this generate constructor and press enter. It creates a new you can see that this is a constructor, public video controller with the name of your class. This is the constructor, and inside of it, it receives the application DB context of context and assigns it into this underlying context. That's it. And we have finished implementing our access to database. The next thing is we need to have some CRUD functionalities. Let's start by creating a new video. So I say that this is an HTTP post, and this annotation says that this is an HTTP post method. So let's create a new public. I use public async task because I want it to be asynchronous, and inside this task, what is the return of this function? This task will return an action result with type of video entity, and that's it. The name is create new video, and that's it. So let's see if there is any problem. Yes, yeah, we need to add another. Okay, no, that's it. So what is the input of this method? We need to send something. Let me show you inside of this video entities. Go to implementation. Okay, we have this ID and created that will be automatically handled. This ID is a key. Let's add a new annotation here. We say this is a key. You can see that it is from system.componentModel.data annotations. Let's import it using enter. Okay, no, it is a key. This key will be generated automatically by database, and also this created that will be automatically datetime.no. That's good. We need to handle URL and title. So in order to handle it, we need to give something from the user. So let's create a DTO. It is really good idea to have different DTOs for this type of inputs and outputs inside of your controller. So let's create a new folder, add for DTOs. So for these DTOs, I can add a new class. Also, you can use, for example, video. If you are working on a big project, you have different folders, and any folder is related to an entity, and you may have some different details for different entities. But in this project, it is really simple. So I delete this and I create my DTO directly inside this DTO. So I need create a new class. It is a create video DTO, and that's it. So here, let me copy this so quickly from my entity. I just need to give the title from the user, and I will generate URL myself inside of this backend project. So let's copy this, and inside of this create video, I say that public string title. And also let's have a minimum length of, let's say, for example, 5. 5, I think it's good. So this is create video DTO. It has just one title, and that's good. So here in our controller, we say that your input is, we say that it is from your body. You can skip this, but it's good idea to have this, and it make your code more readable. So I say create video DTO of DTO. And now I can have access to this from my request, and I say that var new video equals to new. I need to create a new video entity and initialize it. So we said that we have created that ID, title, and URL. This created that will be automatically handled by data.no, and this ID will be handled by database. But I want to work on this title and generator. So I said your title is your input DTO dot title, and the next thing is your URL. So for this URL, let's have anything. For now, hard code it, and then we will handle this. So we need to add this new video to my context. So I say that underline context dot videos dot add. You can see that I have add and add async. It's better idea to use add async. So I say that use your new videos, because this is an async method. Let's say await, and after this we can again use await and say underline context dot save changes. You can see that I have save change and save change async. So I say await underline context dot save change async, and we return an OK response, which is 200. Okay, and we pass this new video to the response, and that's it. So let's check our functionalities, and by pressing this, and the Swagger will be opened automatically. So let's go inside this video and try it. I want to create a new video. So this is my request body. It's a JSON. I say your title is, for example, new video 1 test or anything else. Let's execute and see the results. Okay, you can see that the result is 200. That's good. And our response body is ID1, this URL, this title, and the created ad. Let's check it here, and I say select top 1000. Okay, ID1, URL, title, created ad. It seems that our ad works properly. So let's go to the, let's stop. Let's go to the next functionality. The most business logic of, the most important business logic of our project is to creating URLs that are unique. So let's do it. You can see that I'm inside this controller, and inside this controller, after this CRUD, let's a unique URL generator function. This is what I want to implement, unique URL generator function. So I simply create a new function. It is a private, and the result would be a string, and you can create a new name for it. I say create unique URL, and this is a function. We don't have any input, and here we just need to have some functionalities. What's this talking about? It says that is not all code return path. Okay, no problem. So we can return something from it. So let's start. The first thing is we need to have a new string to work with it. So I say var new random URL equals to string dot empty. That's it. The next thing is we need to work with random generator. So let's create a new random ran equals to new random, and I want it to work and check the new random URL generated with our database, and if it was equals to one of the existing ones, I generate a new one. So I need to use a loop, and in order to use a loop, I use a while loop. So let's create a flag for this loop, and I say var a new, for example, let's say bool flag equals to in the initial time it is true, and while it is true, or let me show you here, use a while. So while this boolean flag is true, this function will, this loop will works until this bool flag turns to false. So how we can use this? We can simply say that, for example, let's create a new for loop. I say your int I equal to 0, and I want it to be, for example, 10 characters. So I less than 9 or I less than 10. So it's from, it will loops from 0 to 9, and that's it. So here we can say that create a random. So let's say random number equals to rand dot next, and inside of this next we can pass the minimum value and maximum value, for example, from 1 and 9. And also let's create a new character. So let's say var random char equals to this random dot next, and the minimum value is a, and also the maximum value is z, but because we want this to be character, so let's return the character of it, and then we need to add them inside of my new URL. So let's say that your new random URL plus equals to random number that to string, and also let's say new random URL plus equals to random char dot to a string. That's it. And we can use this line first, so it will start with a character. So now we added these two into my new random URL, and after this for, we check that if it's duplicate or not. So we say that where is duplicate, and here we can say that if it's duplicate or not. So we can check it with my context. We have access because we are inside of my class, so we have access to underline context. So I say underline context that videos dot any. This any will check. Let's implement it. We say that q, if q dot url equals to new random URL, and that's it. So this any will returns you can see that its type is a boolean, so it will returns true or false. If this returns a true, it means that this is a duplicate. But if it is not a duplicate, we can simply make our boolean flag to false, and by doing this false, this while will be finished automatically, and we go to the next line. After this while, I simply return this new random URL, and that's it. And let's make it a little more better, because if it is not a duplicate, it will finish, but if it is a duplicate, it will work again and it will add something to new random URL. So it is a good idea to make this random URL to an empty string for every iteration. So it will start from this string.empty again, and that's good. So I think this is completed. Let's check it. So I have this create unique URL, and here for the URL I say the URL of this new video is, what is the name of this create unique URL is the name. So I say create, you can see it is this create new URL, and this will be the new video URL. Let's check it. I check it again using creating a new video and see the result. Let's try it out and test video title of 1. Let's execute and see the result. Do we have any error? Okay, it says that it is 200 ID URL title created at, and this is my URL. You can see it C3S7, and that's really good, but we can also make it to be more unique. So here let's copy this line, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and here we can use A and Z. This is capital A and capital Z. So this is the 1 and 2. This is random character of 1, and this is random character of 2. And here let's say that you need to add random character of 2, then Ctrl C, Ctrl V, you can add random character of 1 to your new random URL, and then you can add random number to your URL. Let's check this again to see if it is working or not. By the way, it is more important to be familiar with the C# function, so we are extending our project and checking it. So let's say that your new is, for example, new title 1, and execute and see the result. Okay, 200. Now you can see the URL is this QW1, IW2, VE4, and that's really good. So you can see that it is really good. But you can see that we have a lot of characters, and we are using a 10 number here, but in every iteration we are using 3 different characters. So 3 multiplies 10 is 13. So the length of this is 13. You can increase it or decrease it using this number. For example, I change this to 2. Let's see the result. Okay, here, try it. A string of test is my title. Let's check it. And you can see that now the length is smaller. So simply you can use any number you want. I use this 10, and now you can see that my HTTP post of create new video is working correctly. Let's minimize this by using this button and go to the next step. The next step is reading. You can see that after in CRUD, after create, we have read. So let's read everything. I say HTTP get is my method, and that's good. So let's create a public method of with async type of task. Okay, in this one, what is my return? Let me show you that. My return type is an action result, which is generic list of my video entity. And that's it. So let's take a quick look at it. I'm returning a task. This task is this, an action result, and this action result have a type of list of video entities. And let's say get all videos. That's it. We don't have any input. We can simply say var videos equals to, we can use await to use the asynchronous function. So I say this is my context dot videos dot toList. We can use simply toList to return everything, and also you have to list async. I use this one, and var videos is this. So let's return an OK status with this videos, and let's check it, save, and start my server to see the result. Okay, now I have new method here, API video. Let's try it out, execute, and see the result. Okay, now you can see that I have these, and let's check on database. And I say again, edit top to 100 rows. You can see that I have these, and also it is returned with my new URL. So if I copy this URL, which is, let me show you, paste enter, localhost 7298/API/video. I have access to all of my videos, and that's good. So let's go to another, let's minimize this. The next thing is we also need to return a specific one. So let's use HTTP get, stop my server. Okay. The next thing is we need to return, get an ID of my video and return that. So let's use this. This time I use a route because I want to pass something to my function. And what is this? It is an ID because it is an ID, and it will be changed for any video. We can simply use these curly braces and say you are receiving this video ID from the request, and simply we can implement our function again. I say this is a public async of task, and this task would return an action result of a video entity, and that's it. So this is the return type. You can see that the previous was task of action result of list of video entity, but this one is a task of action result of video entity. And I say get video by ID is the name of this project, this function. So what is the input this time? This time we have a little different things. The first thing is this video ID from my route. So let's give it, I say from route, you are receiving a long of this name. Let's copy this name to be sure that we are not having any mistakes. So you are receiving this video ID from your route, and that's it. So I think it is enough, and after receiving this we can say that var your video equals to, let's use await, let's go to the context dot videos and find this. So you can use a find and find async, or you can use first or first async, or first or default async. I use first or default async. So with this we search and find the first instance of this video. So here I can simply say that q, and q we are using its id, so we say that q.id equals to video id, this video id. And if the video equals to null, you can simply return a not found, which is 404. And for your message, you can say that video not found, and that's it. But let me show you a beautiful thing in C#. You can simply here say if video is null. And I really love C# because it's cool features, and this is one of them. So we are searching for a video, and if we say if video is null, return not found. Else we can simply return okay status with our video. And let's save everything and check the result. So this time I have this new method API/API/video/video ID. Let's check everything here and see what IDs do we have. So ID 1, 2, 3, 4. So here inside the API video UID, let's try it out. Let's say I want video 1 and it returns. That's good. Let's check 3. That's good. Let's check if something is not exist like 43 and check. The return is 404 and video not found. And that's good. So let's go to the next function, and we implemented this get video by id. So after this, after creating and reading is the time of the updating. So let's create a new, let's delete these extra lines, and after this HTTP get, I create a new method. I can use put or patch. I use patch because I want just to send just one field. Let me show you. And inside of my video entity, I don't want to edit my URL after creation. It must be unique, and I cannot change URL of any video. I can simply edit its title. So let's do this. I have an HTTP patch. Again, I need to have a video ID because I want to select a video ID. So let's copy this, and I say you also have the route of video ID, and let's create our new method public async, and this method will return a task. And this time we don't want to return the updated. We can simply use an action result or I action result, and we can simply use this I action result because I just want to return a string. And this time the name is update video, and let's have it return null for now. So what is the input? This time I have this, let's copy this from here because it's exactly the same. From route I have the long of video ID, but this time, like, let me show you, like this HTTP post, we need to also receive the title from the body. So let's do this. I will copy this simply because it's exactly the same, and I say that inside of update video I have this long of video ID from route, and also I have this create video DTO of DTO from my body, and that's good. The first step is we need to check that this video exists or not. So the process is exactly like this searching for one video. I copy this from here because this is exactly like it, and I say that var video equals to await underline context dot videos dot first or default async q.id equals to video id, and if video is null, you return video not found. After this, because video is found, and I can say simply that video dot video, you can see that I have title URL and another. I say video title equals to this dto.title, and I save it. So I can simply say that await underline context dot save change async, and it will save, and then I will say return okay. And for the message you can say that video updated successfully. And I think that's good. Let's check it to see the result. So I have this HTTP patch. Let's check first. Let's get everything. And okay, you can see I have this array for. So for the ID 1, I have this title, new video 1 test. I want to change it. So in patch, I try. So this is the video ID. I pass one ID for video ID, and let's pass a new body. So I say updated body for test, and I send this as my body to video ID with 1. So let's execute and see the result. It says 200 and the response body is video updated successfully. So let's check it again, execute. So for ID1 you can see that its title is updated, and inside of here you can see that ID of 1 in database is updated, body for test 1. The title is updated, and that's good. It says that our function is working properly. And let's continue. So after updating, the final method is delete, and an HTTP delete must be implemented. So let's do it. After this update video, I need to use another annotation, HTTP delete, and let's stop our server. So for this HTTP delete route, I also need to use this because I want to give the video video ID from the user. So I say I have this route, and here I have public. Again, use async and task, and also this time I return an action result because I just want to simply return a string. So I say that what is this function name? I say delete video, and here what is my input? I say that I just need from my route, I need a long of video ID. And here, first we need to check the database and find it. If it is not exist, we return a 404. So let's simply copy these. You can see that how powerful is my code. And I say that var video equals to await underline context dot videos dot first or default async q. If q.id equals to video id, return this. And if video is null, you can return not found. But if your video is not null, you can simply say that underline context dot videos dot remove, and you can see that I have remove and remove range. I just simply remove this video, and then I will save my change. So I say await underline context dot save change async, and I will return an OK with this message, video deleted successfully. And I think that's good. Let's save everything and run to see the result. So this time we have HTTP delete, and this is it. So let's check. For example, I say that I want to delete my ID of 1, execute. 200 video deleted successfully. So let's come here and check, execute. You can see that I did 1 deleted, and we don't have it. So we have 2, 3, and 4. So let's delete all of them for test. 2 delete, okay. Delete 3, okay. Let's check it again. Okay, everything is deleted, and also we can check inside of my API video to see the list of it. No, I have only this one with ID of 4. Let's delete ID 4, execute. No, it deleted and our database is empty. Let's check it again. No, we know that video with ID of 4 is not exist. So if I execute it, it says that 404 video not found. Let's create a new one from here and try it out. So your body is test title and execute. So with ID of 5, URL is this, it is title, and this is created at. Let's check it. Okay, it seems that our CRUD functionality is working properly and everything is good. But let me show you a beautiful thing, which is the regions. You can let me show you from here. You can minimize this from here. You can see that it minimizes this function, but we have this HTTP GET and route which is related to this task. You can use a feature which helps you to maintain your codes more readable, which is region. Let me show you. The first thing is you need to write a region, and you can see that if I press tab twice, it creates a new region for me. And you can use any name you want. For example, for this section, I say constructor and dependency injection. Okay, this is the name of my region, and I cut this finishing end of my region and put it here and delete these lines. Don't need them. Okay, now I can simply minimize this region. You can let me show you that. Now you can see that this is a new region and it's really much more readable. By hovering mouse, it will be show you this type, and you can open it using this plus, and that's good. Let's have a region for everything, and here let's create a new region. So this region, you can use any standard you want. I always use this. For example, I say this region is an HTTP post of, and create new video, and let's cut this, paste it here, and delete these extra lines and minimize it. So this is an HTTP post of create new word. So I think now you have the idea. Let's open this again and create a new region. So this time this region is HTTP GET and its name is get all values. Let's do it again. Put it inside of these regions and delete these extra lines and minimize it. Let's do another region. Double tap. This is HTTP get video but by ID, and cut this region, and this is minimized. So let's open it and put it here, delete extra lines and minimize it. Very good, isn't it? So create a new region. This is an HTTP patch. Its name is update video. Let's cut this, and after this here, delete extra lines, minimize it. And the next one is a new region, and HTTP delete and delete video. So let's cut it from here and paste the end of region here and delete extra lines and minimize. And also let's create another region for this, and this time, because it is not an HTTP method, I say this is a private string of this. And let's cut this, and this is my method. After this, I will put my end region here and delete extra lines. Now you can see that how cool it is, and it is really more readable, isn't it? And this time you can see that this is the beautiful thing of regions that helps you a lot. You can see all of your functions in one look, and I think this is good. And now we created our CRUD functionalities inside of our ASP.NET 7 project. Now it can be used with you can see that. Let's open our Swagger again. You can see that inside of this video controller, we created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 HTTP methods. One of them is creating a new one. The next thing is getting list of all of my videos. The next thing is getting one video using its ID. Next thing is a patch method for updating my video title. And the last one is deleting my video. And this is the full CRUD functionalities inside of this project. Now we can use it for our API project and use it everywhere we want. Now we created our backend project, and let's continue and create a frontend project for our solutions. I want to create a new project with React, and I want to use TypeScript. So here you can see I'm on official create React app document, and it says that you can use this command for creating a new React app using TypeScript. So let's copy this command and go to our drive F. We had this URL generator.net, and here we had this backend project. So let's open a command here, and I paste it. It says that you need to have a name. I say, for example, front end, and this is the complete command: npx create react app front end dash dash template TypeScript, and let's press enter and wait for the project to be installed. And our project is installed. So let's close this command prompt and open this front end using VS Code. Now let's open a new terminal and let's say npm start to start our project and continue with this project. Okay, this is my project. So let's do some cleanup. Let's delete this app.css and delete index.css and delete this file and this setup test and app.test. So I have app.tsx and index.tsx and react app env.ts and reports with vitals.ts. Inside of index.tsx, I will delete this line, and inside of app.tsx, let's delete everything and let's say RAFCE to create a new functional component. You can see that this snippet will create a new React functional component, and it's coming from this ES7 Plus React Redux React Native extension that you can use. Let's press enter and let's see it. You can see here in the extensions that I have this ES7, and I have some of them, and you can use them in order to have faster coding. So this is my app, and let's see if there is an error or not. No, we don't have any error. That's good. So let's open our terminal and open a new terminal using this plus button. I need to install some package. So let's say npm I need to use Axios, and I use it for my HTTP request, and I use moment because I want to use work with some date and times. And also let's install React router DOM to have SPA, and also I need to use SAS. So I install all of them: Axios, moment, React router DOM, SAS. Let's press enter and it's beginning to install. And also I want to use Material UI. So let's see here inside of installation, it says that you need to install these three packages. Let's copy it. Okay, these are all installed. That's good. Let's paste npm install MUI/material emotion react and emotion styles and press enter. It is starting to install. That's good. Also, I need to use material icon. So let's find it from here. And it says that you need to install this npm package. It's at time we icons material. So let's copy the name and here say npm I this icon material. Let's see the package. You can see that I have these packages and also Axios, moment, React router DOM, and SAS. And icon materials is installing. That's good. So let's minimize this and go continue. Let's create a new CSS file. I named it global.scss, and this file is inside of src. And let's have some global classes, star and star before and star after. So padding of 0, margin of 0, box sizing of border box, and also I changed my font family to Arial. Let's format our document. Also, I need to use another class because I want to use SVG icons. I grab all of SVG tags here generally and change their colors to 0000FF, which is pure blue, and that's good. And I change my cursor to pointer for all of my SVGs. Let's format document, and we need to import this global.css inside of index.tsx. So it will be, let's say, global.css. Now it is globally imported into index, so everywhere inside this app it will be affected. So let's see if there is any problem or not. Yes, it says that index.tsx importing body of module order to top, line 3, 4, 5. Okay, because I want to have import here, let's format our document and delete these comments. Format document. No, let's check everything. Okay, no, we don't have any error, and that's good. And let's create a new file named underline mixins.css. I use this everywhere because it really helps me to use some reusable styles. Let me show you that. I want to have some mixins, and I want, for example, display flex. It can have some inputs. So inside of this mixin, I say my display is flex, and my flex direction is row, and justify content would be center, and align items would be center. This can be a simple mixin. Let's format our document, and you can use it, but we want it to be really dynamic. So let's say I have an input of flex direction, and this flex direction will be the amount of flex direction. That's cool, isn't it? And let's have another one. So I want to use another variable, which is $justify, and I say that this amount is this justify. And also let's have another value of $align, and here we say that this is $align. And I want to use this display of flex, and let's have another mixin. For example, I want to have a mixin for my borders with name of border 1, and I say my border would be 1px solid and RGB A of 0, 0, 0 and 0.2. And also let's have another mixin for shadow with name of shadow 1, and I say my box shadow would be 0, 0, 50 pixel, 1 pixel, and RGBA of this color will be good. So let's format document, close this. You can use them or any mixin you want, or you can even don't use them, but it will help you a lot. So let's close this, and close this global, and close this index, and go to the app.jsx. Now let's see our project. The first thing is we need to have a navbar. So I create a components folder here, components. Inside of it, I have a folder named navbar, and inside of navbar, I create a navbar.tsx file, which is my component, and I say RAFCE. And also let's have a navbar.scss, and let's import it /navbar.scss, so we can have a class name for this div, and I say it is navbar, and now I can work on this navbar. So I have this navbar, and inside of it, let's first import it here. So inside of this app, I say I have a navbar, and this navbar is coming from ./components/navbar/navbar, and that's it. Let's see the result. Okay, I have this navbar, and now let's come here, and here say that I have a span with the name of URL generator, and this is it. So let's come here and add some styles here. For example, 100% of width and height of 50 pixels. And let's change our display to the flex. But because I want to use flex, I import my mixin. So I say import dot slash underline mixins will be imported like this. Now we have access to all of my mixins like this deflex. So I simply say that I want to use one of them. So I need to use @include, and what is the name? This is deflex, and we have three inputs. The first thing is flex direction. I say it is a row. The next thing is justify content. I use flex start, and for align items I will use center. Also, let's have a background color with this color of dark blue, which is 2 and 69 and 145, and let's see the result. Okay, now we have a problem, and it says that undefined mixin deflex. Refresh. Okay, that's good. Let's have another class. For example, for the padding of left, I use to rem, and also let's change our color to sharp FFF and see. Okay, no, that's good. And we can use another feature here because we are on Navbar. We can say that on click you can redirect to the main page. So let's import a hook from React Rotterdam. And my hook is use navigator. Yes, let's import this, use navigate. And here for the using it, I use const redirect equals to use navigate. And on this span, I say on click, you need to redirect user to a slash, which is my home route. Let's check it. For example, okay, it seems that we have an error. Let's see the console. Use navigate may be used only in the context of a router component. That's right, because we need to have browser router. Let's do it. You can use on app.tsx or index.tsx. I think index is better. So here let's import something from React Rotterdam, and I import browser router from React Rotterdam. And instead of React.strict mode, I simply say all of my app must be inside of this browser router. Let's format and close index. I don't need it. Let's refresh. That's good. So slash anything. If I'm here, I say let's refresh. With clicking on this, you can see that it is redirecting to home. And let's have a cursor of pointer for this. Okay, so this is an span. Inside of that navbar, I have a span. And for this, I say your cursor is pointer. And also, let's say that no, it is no. I think it's good. Let's continue with this. So I close this navbar because it's okay for me now. Let's go to the app.tsx. Now we have the navbar. Now it's time to work on our routes. I want to have some different pages and some different routes. So let's import something from React Rotterdam. I need to use routes and also road component after this navbar, because I want this navbar to be fixed on all of my roads. After this, I will use roads. And let me show you that the version of my React Rotterdam is 6, and in version 6 we are using roads, and we have some road inside of this app, and every road has a path and has an element. So for example, this path can be a slash and its element must be an element. Let's create some elements for my roads. For any road, we create a page. So inside of src, I create a new folder named pages, and inside of this, I create a new folder named home. So now I want to create a home.tsx, and you can also use home.tsx or home.page.tsx. It's up on you, and you may saw these two different naming conventions. You can use both of them. I say RAFCE. So let's have a home.scss and import the home dot slash home.scss. So this is for my home page. Let's close it. Now inside of this row, I say that for slash, my element would be home, and this home is coming from home slash home, and that's it. So let's check. Okay, the home is imported. Let's check to be sure. This is my home page component, and that's it. So now we imported this page, and we need to have some other rows, but let's first work on this home. And here let's have a class name of home, and let's delete them. Inside of this home I have two parts, a heading, and also I have a videos list or video cards or any different name. For the heading, I create a new division with the class name of heading, and inside of my heading, I will create h1 with the videos list. And after this, I will create a new span, and here I want to use an icon. So let's import something from @ MUI slash icons material. For example, let's say I want to add circle. I want this from here inside this span. Let's use it, add circle, and format my document. Let's see if it is working or not. Refresh. So it seems that it is refreshing. Okay, it seems that we have this button, and you can see that it is blue and its cursor is pointer because inside of global we had these classes, and that's so good. So we have these, and let's continue. So I have this heading section, and after this heading section I want to have a video list. So here we create a new division with name of cards, and here will be the video cards. Let's format our document and see it. Okay, that's good. Now let's add our real database to it. So let's start our backend solution to have access to our data. Let's start it. Okay, you can see that all of my web routes has this URL in front of them. So this is my base URL. I want to use this. So I will simply create a new folder name, constants, and here I say that my url.const.ts or constant.ts. This is just simply a convention. You can use anything you want, and I create in here export const of base URL equals to this localhost slash this and slash API slash video. And now I can use this base URL. And I need to use an state and use effect, so I import them from React. I need both use state and use effect. Now here I need to have an state, so I say const videos and set videos equals to use state, and its initial value would be an empty string. But because we are on TypeScript, we can use types. It will be a good idea to use types. So let's close everything and see in src we can create a new folder named types. And inside of it, let's create a new file name global.typing.ts or any name you want. I simply use this convention, and here I will create a new interface for my video. So let's create it, export interface, and you can use any name you want because it is a video. You can use this, but I simply use an big I to show that it is an interface, and its first name would be like this, capital. So I use this convention and I say that let's see what we have. We have ID, URL, title. Let's copy them so quickly and comment them. So I have ID, which is a string. Let's format document. Okay, this is a JSON object, so this is an object format document. Okay, ID is a string and URL is also a string, and also you have a title which is a string. Also you have this created ad. Let's copy this, and this is also a string. No, I delete them, I don't need them. And format document. Now I have this iVideo, and I say that this use state values would be type of iVideo array, and that's it. It's very good, isn't it? So let's use this use effect, and inside of use effect I will have a callback function and a dependency array. And inside of this I say Axios. We need to import Axios, but yes, it imported automatically. Dot get, and for the URL we will use this base URL. Does it import it automatically? Yes, it imported automatically. That's so good. And you can use one of async await methods or .then.catch. And here I simply use .then.catch. So I simply say axios.get base URL .then get a response, and then set the videos to response.data. And that's it. And then I can say if any error happened, catch, you can get an error and console.log it, or let's say alert it, or anything you want. For example, I simply say that alert the JSON.stringify of my error. Let's format document. Also, because we are using Axios, you can simply get the type of input of our Axios result. For example, this can be an iVideo array, and that's it. Let's format document, and let's here say that log my videos to see what is the videos until now. And let's go to my React project and refresh. Okay, we have a problem. It says that it is here Axios error. Okay, the error is also here. Let's see what is the problem. It says the access to records from original. This has been blocked by course policy. Okay, course policy is a big problem when you are working with JavaScript libraries and frameworks, and it needs to be handled on the back end. So let's do this quickly. Inside of, let's stop our server. Inside of program.cs, let's close everything and show you that what I'm going to do. Inside of program.cs, we need to use another middleware. And here or here or here, everywhere you want. For example, here after this line, I say app.use course middleware. And that's it. And it can have some configurations. For example, I say option.allow any header. Let's press enter to be more beautiful, and also allow any method and allow any origin. By this we will handle our course problem. Let's save and this is it. So now we are using a course middleware and it will solve our problems. Let's refresh our server again. And okay, let's check this. Let's refresh. Okay, now you see that in the initial time the state is empty and then state is full, and we have this one which is created at id, title, and url, and this is exactly the same thing that must be returned from this. Okay, that's it, and it seems that we have access to our state. That's good. Let's comment this console.log. Now I have these videos, and for it I can simply use this state to show here inside of these cards. So here simply I can say that let's open a new curly brace to use JavaScript, and I say that my videos dot map. So in this map you are getting one item, and let's see what is the type of this item. For now it is any, but I say that I want to form any item, I want to return a division, and inside of it I have this item. Now you can see that this item type is iVideo because we said that your type is iVideo array. And let's simply say that I have item.title to show and format document. Now you can see that I have test title. Let's create some of them quickly to see it better. For example, try it. Test one. Test this. And also this. That's good. And let's refresh. Now you can see that I have them, but I have this each child in a list should have unique keeper. Okay, we'll handle this soon. So if you're asking what is this, this is an extension I installed. It is this Ninja console. Let me show you here. If I search Ninja, this is a beautiful extension that helps me to show my console errors here inside of my code. And this is this console Ninja. It is a good extension to use. So let's continue and implement our structure and then work on its style. So I have some different videos, and for each of them I want to create a card for it. So let's do this. The first thing is I need to have a division, and in this division it has a key which is item.id, and also everyone has a class name of card. Let's delete this item title. I don't need this anymore. That was just for test. So inside of this card, I want to split it to a left and also a right. Okay, that's it. So inside of this left, let's have a division with class of title, and inside this title, I create a span with item.title. And also let's have another span with, let's have class name of time because we are going to show this time, and I say that item dot created at. Let's format our document, and this is my left, and inside of it I have this title. After this title, let's have another div with class name of URL, and inside of it I will have a span with class name of, or no, because we have this URL, we can access to this span simply inside of SAS, so it's okay. I say that this is the item.url format, okay, and this is my URL, and this was my left. Okay, so After this, the left is finished, and now it's time to work on the right side. So inside of this right side, let's create a new div with name of btns. I want to have two different buttons. So let's import them first from uh, material, icons material, and one of them is edit, and the next one is delete. That's it. Let's format document, and inside of this btns, let's add them. The first one is edit, and the next one is delete. Let's format document. Now I think it's good, and let's see what we have right now. Let's close this and refresh. Okay, now you can see that I have a card for any of them. Now it's time to work on our style. So let's go here and open this home.css and open to the site, and let's see both of our structure and our file. That's good. So we have import of this, and what is our main class? Home. So let's say I have dot home, and inside this I say your width is 100%, and let's import my mixins because I want to use flex. So I import dot slash mixins, and after this I will include deflex, and for this deflex I use a column structure and flex start and a center. So my direction would be column, my justify content would be flex start, and align items would be center. Let's format document and see the result. Okay, now that's it, and let's continue. So after this I say your padding is 2 rem, and your padding top would be 4 rem. Let's check it. Okay, that's much more better. And also let's say you have a gap of 2 rem. That's it. So after this we have this heading. Let's copy this. So inside of home I have dot heading, and I say your width is 100%, and again let's say you have a deflex, and because I have a, here you can see I have two different parts left. Here inside of this heading I have an h1 and a span. So I use a deflex with row, and justify content would be space between, and align items would be center. Let's format and see the result. Okay, now you can see that this is on the left and this is on the right, and that's so good. Now after this I say that I have inside of that heading I have an SVG, and it have a font size of 40 pixel. Let's see it. Okay, so good. And I think it's okay for this heading. So let's minimize this heading and go continue for our next part, which is this cards. So let's do these cards. So let's use, again, let's include our border 1 because I want to use that border, and also let's use include shadow 1. We just as a quick remember, we created this border 1 and shadow 1, and now we can simply import and use them. Let's format our document and see the result now. Okay, now you can see that this is my cards. That's good. And after this let's have again the flex. So include the flex, and this is a row, and justify content would be a space between, and align items would be center. And after this let's say that we have a margin of from top and 0.06 rem, and left and right would be 0, and let's say we have a padding for top and bottom is 0.6 rem, and left and right would be 1.2 rem. Format document, let's see, it's not bad. Okay, and after this, let's say that your width is 100%, and also you have a border radius of 32 pixel. Let's see it. Okay, that's much more better, isn't it? Let's continue. Format document, and after this border radius, let's work on here. So inside of this card, we have a card, and let's say that dot card. Inside of this, again, I want to use all of these, so let's copy them quickly and paste them here. And I say that I want to use border 1 and shadow 1, and again I want them to be row and space between and center. But I think let's check them first. Okay, that's good, but I think this must be a column. It would be better. Let's format document and see them. Okay, no, that's much more better. You can see that we simply change this flex direction from row to column, and it will be automatically changed inside of this mixing, and that's so good. So let's continue with our card, and we say that let's copy all of them again because it's really simple, and format document, and let's check. Okay, that's good, but I think this can be much more lower. So let's change this to, for example, 22 or 12. 12 is much more better, I think. Let's see. Okay, that's no much more better. Now we have cards, and inside of it I have this dot card, and inside of this card you can see that I have a left side and a right side. So let's implement them. I have a left and also I have a right. So for the left side I have this dot time. I just want to work on them for now, and I say that your margin left would be 1 rem, and your font size would be 14 pixel, and your color would be sharp, again FF. Let's format document and see it. Okay, now you can see that, but the problem is this is not good readable, and we have the moment package. We installed the moment package, so we can simply use it. So let's import moment from moment, and for this item that created that, let's cut it, and we say that moment of item that created at dot from now, and let's format document. If you have any problem, no, we don't have. Let's see it. Okay, now you can see that it is much more better. 7 hours ago, 12 minutes ago, 11 minutes ago, 11. And this is good, but you can see that this is not in the right order. For example, this is the least one, the oldest one, but we want the newest one to be on the top of list. Let's change this on our backend project. And we need to stop our project and work on our controller. So let's go to our controllers here. Instead of get all here, let's double click to open it, or by the way, you can use this button or you can double click on it. So here we are returning all of the lists, but we want them to be ordered. So there was a function. It was I think it was, what was it? Order. Do we have order? Yes, order by. Order by. We have order by descending and order by. So I say order by descending, and I say that Q is Q dot. What you need to be order by? I say created at dot to list async, and that's it. So let's save and start again. So now we are order them by descending, and let's check the result. Refresh. Okay, now you can see that this is 13 minutes, 13 minutes, that's good. Let's create another one quickly, and here, something, execute, and check it here. Okay, a few seconds ago, 13 minutes, 30 minutes, and 7 hours. That's so good in my opinion. Let's continue. So here, I have this left, and inside of this, I have this URL, and I have this division with name of URL. So inside of this dot time, after this dot time inside of left, I say dot in URL. Inside of URL, I have a span, and for it, I say that your margin top would be half rem, and your font size would be 14 pixels, and your background color would be sharp B4, B4, B4. Let's see it. Okay, that's so good, and I think it's good, but let's have some border radius and padding. Let's see if it's working or not. Let's say that I have margin top, font size, and background color. So let's say that your padding is 3 pixels and 6 pixels, and your border radius is 15 pixels. Let's format the document and see the results. Okay, that's so good, and that's exactly what I wanted, but we need to have a little margin top in my opinion. So for this .url, I say margin top of 3 pixel. If it's good, 6 pixel. Okay, no, I think no, this is so good. And we have this icon and this icon. I think this page is good and finished, so let's work on the next features. And let's close this home for now. Now I created this, and now I want to have some different pages for my edit and delete. And let's work on this. So for this add circle, we can simply say that on click, you need to redirect. So for redirect, we need to again use navigate from React Rotterdam, and here we say that const redirect equals to use navigate, and here we say that you need to redirect to a slash and add video. So let's format document and check it. So refresh, and if I click on this, okay, I'm going to the add video, but it doesn't exist, and we created this link to our page, and you can see that by clicking this, I'm going to home page. That's good. So let's create this add button features and implement it. So here we need to have another route, and for this route we need to have another element. Let's copy this and say this is, for example, add video, and we need to create another element for this. Let's, inside of page, create a new folder named add video, and here let's add another, for example, add video.tsx component, and also let's have add video.scss, and simply we can create a new component RFCE. That's so good. And let's also import dot slash add video.scss, and that's it. So here let's have a class name for our add video class, add video components, and inside of this add video, let's have an h1 with add video. So after this h1, let's have another division with name of dot inputs because I want to use some inputs. And here, let's import some features from our material UI. So I want to have an input, and I use a text field. Okay, it doesn't working. It's auto-completing. So let's import something from @MUI / material, and I want to use the text field from it. So I want to use a text field. What I have for this text field, the first thing is I don't need autocomplete, so it would be off. That's so good. And it needs a label, so its label would be video title. And after the label, what is the variant? We need to use outline. It should suggest us, yes, that is suggests. So after this, I need to have a button. Let's import the button. Oops, button. And I say that I have a button. And this button is saved. Let's also have another button with the name of back to list. Let's format our document to see the result. Okay, no, that's good. No, this is my component, basic component. Let's use it here. And here I say that I have this add video, and it will import it from page add video. That's good. So /add video will be this route. Let's check it. Okay, refresh. Now by clicking this, I will come here to this page. You can see that it is working, but it needs some CSS. Let's work on this. So let's open this add video in the side split right, and we imported. Okay, so class name is add video dot add video, or no, I think that's good. So let's say that your width is 100%, and let's use display flex. And so simply we can add sign import like the others, dot dot slash mixins. So now we can use this mixins, and here I say add sign include of the flex. So for the flex, I want to use column and flex start and center, and its padding would be 2 rem, and also its padding top would be 4 rem, and also its gap would be 2 rem. Let's format document and see the results to know. Okay, no, not good, not bad. So let's work on this button, which is this input. So inside of add video, I have this input, and I say that again at sign include of the flex, and it is again a column, flex start for my justified content, and center for my align items. Also, let's say your width is 400 pixels, and your maximum width would be 100%, and your gap would be 2 rem. Let's format our document and let's check. Okay, now you can see that I have it, and that's so good. But I think let's do a little trick here. I say inside of this inputs for everything, let's say your width is 100%. Let's see if it's working. Yes, it is working. And now we have these buttons. For these buttons, let's minimize this part. And for these buttons, I say your variant would be, you have contained, outlined, or text. I will use outlined. It's beautiful. And also let's copy this for this one. Okay, that's good. But I say here your color would be, we have some error, some of colors. I say your color would be secondary. Okay, that's so good. Now let's work on the functionalities. So we need to work on this text field. So we need to use a state, and we can simply create a state. So I say const of my title and set title equals to use state. We don't have use state. Let's import it. Import use state from React. So we say that you need to use a state. In the initial, it is an empty, and your type would be a string. That's so good. And this, for this text field, we can say that your value is this title, and on your change, you will change this, and you get E and set title of E. I assume that you are familiar with these. These are common React code. So let's format document. No, I said your value is title, and on change, you will set title e.target.value, and that's it. So the next thing is when we want to work on this button. So we say that on click, you need to run handle click save btn. Let's create this as a const handle click save btn equals arrow function, and also let's have another one. And for this back to button, I say on click, you need to handle click back btn. Let's create this again, and this is my second function. So I have two functions, handle click save and handle click back btn. Let's work on them. So inside of this handle click back btn, we need to simply return back. So let's import our use navigate again. You can see that how cool it is, and here we say that const redirect equals to use navigate. And inside of handle click back btn, we simply say that you need to redirect to slash. So let's format document and check it, refresh. So if I click back to list, I need to go back here. That's good. Okay, that's working. So next is working on this save. Let's go here and work on handle this save btn. So here first we check that if its title is empty, we do not send a request. So I say that if my title equals to empty string, so simply send an alert and simply return. Or you can say, for example, please enter something and return. Else, you need to create a new object with name of data, and in this data you are sending this title, which is this title from here, but you know that when your key and your value is equal, you need to send just one of them. So this will works. Now this is my data, and then we need to send a request to the backend. So let's say that Axios, it is not imported automatically. That's too bad. Let's import our Axios from Axios. That's good. So I simply say that Axios dot post. We need to send a post request. The first thing is our URL. So I say base URL. It will be recognized and imported automatically. That's so good. And the next thing is our data. So we send this object as our post data. So then we have this then and cache. So I say dot then, and then it will gives a response, and if it is successful, I just want it to redirect to my homepage. So I simply say redirect to a slash, and that's it. You can use any business logic you want here, but I just want to simply return to my homepage. And in any catch, we give the error, and we simply say alert and error occurred, and that's it. Let's format document and back to list, refresh. Okay, let's create one. and check if it's working or not. New video now. Let's save. And it seems that new video now is saved on our database. Let's refresh. Okay, you can see that it is on our database, and let's check it here from this method. Try it out, execute. Okay, now you can see that I have new video now, and that's so good. It is inside of my database with its correct timestamp, and here it says a few seconds ago, and that's good. So it seems that our add video is working correctly. Now it's time to go to the next part. Let's close this add video and go to the next part. We need to have another route for our edit video. In order to have this route, let's copy this route with, let's say that its path is edit video slash and dot video ID, or let's say we can use ID or video ID. I say simply video ID. This is my parameter. So this will be a parameter, and here we need to add another element. So you can create a new component here. I can simply, because the structure is same, I simply copy. Let me show you how I want to do this. I will Ctrl C this add video, and inside of page paste it again and work on it. So let's edit everything. I say the folder name is edit video, and here the name is edit video, and let's copy this name and change the name of my component like this. And also let's edit this and say this is an edit video, and let's edit everything inside of it. So this is dot edit video, and that's it. So also here we need to import dot slash edit video, and I think that's good for now. Let's check. This is edit video, and this h1 is edit, and also we have all of them. Save. That's good. Back to list. Okay, and I think this is it. So let's check that if we can work with this or not. So I say this time your component is edit video. So let's format document. Now we have a slash edit video slash dot video ID. This means that this is a parameter. So I now have these parameters. Let's work on it. Inside of my home, I want uh, this edit and this delete to be links to my page. So let's say that inside this edit, let's say that you want to on click, you want to redirect to somewhere else. So let's create a function for them. Const redirect to edit equals to an arrow function, and it will redirect us to a slash edit video slash and ID. But because this ID want to be dynamically, we can give it from the input and say that you are giving a video ID with type of string. And here, instead of this, let's use the template literal. So I use a backtick here and here. So I say go to slash edit video slash, and here let's, why it is not working, dollar sign. Okay, it is dollar sign, and let's use this video here. So this is the redirect to edit, and it will give a video ID. So here on edit, I say that on click you need to run this redirect to edit and pass this the ID. We are inside of this videos.map, and we have this item. So I say item.id is this input. So this will call this redirect to edit and pass the ID. And what is the problem? Has an const redirect to edit than any because it doesn't have an annotation and it refers directly to its own initializer. So this is a function, but I don't want to have this error. Let's format document. No, that was not the error. It's just simple function. It doesn't need this. Okay, now let's see that if it's working or not. So let's refresh and click on this edit. Now you can see that it is working. For example, this one, clicking will come to edit video /10. And also for this one, it comes to /edit video /9. And it seems that it's working. So now we have this video ID, and this video ID is here, exactly that name. So I have access to this video ID here inside of edit video. Let's work on this. Let's close everything instead of this edit video and open this to the right. That's good. No, just I want to work on this edit video. So inside of this, I can use another hook of React Rotterdam, which is use params. And here I say that const params equals to use params. And let's say that I want to log these params to see what is inside of it. So let's open our console. And if I come here, you can see that inside my param is an object. It has video ID with 10. So let's destructure that video ID from my params for my document, and let's log this. Okay, now you can see that I have access to that ID, and that's so good. So inside of this ID, I will want to use my video ID to send a request to the backend and get the data of this. And for this, I need to use effect. So I need a use effect here. I simply use this. So let's delete this line. I don't need it anymore. And here I need a use effect. We have a callback function and this dependency array. So inside of use effect, we simply say that get axios.get, let's call base URL, but because we are going to use let me show you here, I want to call this method and it needs an ID, video ID, so let's call it using this backtick, and I say that you need to use the base URL here slash this video ID, and this is my axios.get, and what is my return type? It would be an iVideo, a single video, and that's it. So after this, I say I.then and .catch. So when I get this, I say you have a response inside of yourself. And when you're giving this response, you can simply set this title to response.data. You can see that I have access to all of them because here I said that the return type is iVideo. So I say that response.data.title and format document, and in any error we can simply send an alert with error occurred. This is not a big issue for us. You can do anything you want with this. So let's refresh and back to list. Okay, now I'm editing this. So if I press this, you can see that new video is coming, and also for this one, test is coming from the server, and that's so good. You can handle them by your states and do this from here, but this is not a standard way because maybe this video is this title is updated in this meanwhile, and then you will have the wrong title to edit. And now it's working, that's so good. But let's have another state for checking that when it's loading, we don't want to show anything. So let's have another state loading, set loading is a use state, and its type would be a boolean, and its initial value would be false. And here we said that after here inside of this use effect, we simply say that you need to set the loading to true because it is on loading, and after this response is successful, here after this set title we can simply say that set loading must be false again, and that's it. So let's have a little change here down here, and here inside of this inputs here, let's cut everything. And after this edit video, we want to check this condition, and we say that if loading is true, show an h1 with text of loading, or any image or any spinner or loader you want. I simply use this, else open a parenthesis, and inside of parenthesis paste your codes. And I paste it from here and format document. This is exactly the same one. I just added a new loading conditionality to it. So let's check it, refresh. Okay, you see that I see loading quickly disappeared. That's so good. Okay, now I think everything is good. It's just the time of our sending request to the backend. So inside of this handle click save btn, we say that if title is empty, please alert this. That's so good. And our data is title again. That's good. But inside of Axios, you know that for the update, our method is patch. So we need to change this to a patch method, and we need to change a little this base URL. So you saw that our base URL, we are using something like this. Let's copy this easily because this is exactly what we want. Instead of base URL, we need to send base URL / video ID. So simply we use template literals and we write it. And then we send our data, and if it is successful, you need just to redirect to a / or inside any catch, you can simply send this error occurred. So let's format document. That's good, and let's check everything. So let's go back and refresh to be sure that everything is clear. So for the first one, I edit. I say first edit, and let's say save. Okay, it redirected, and you can see that it is changed. Let's refresh. You know that this is coming from database because we are not saying the inside of our store or Redux toolkit. This is directly coming from database. It seems that our edit is working correctly, and let's check again the second one. This is the second edit, save. Yes, you see that it's working correctly. Refresh. That's so good. It means that our edit is working correctly. So let's close this edit video and work on the next route, which is my delete. So let's copy this again, and I say that instead of edit, let's delete them. And here I say path is edit. So your path is edit dash video, and again this video ID, and you need to have another component for this. So a new component for this page must be inside of these pages. So you can simply copy one of them, for example edit video or add video. I use copy this edit video. This code is more similar to my delete, so I will copy this, and inside of page I paste it simply and edit it. So delete, this is delete video. So inside of this delete video I have these two. Let's open this on the side, and let's change everything. Okay, this is my delete video.tsx, and also this is delete. Now inside of this must be delete video.css. Everything is okay. Edit video must be delete video, and let's copy this name for my edit video. That's good. And also here, let's say that this is a delete video, and let's add this delete video to my app.tsx. And here we say that this time you are using delete video. Let's close everything again and see inside of my app. So this is delete video, and video ID and element is delete video. That's good. And let's work on this inside of my home. I want to have another redirect, so let's copy this function, and it is redirect to delete, and it gives the video ID, and this time it goes to delete video slash video ID. And let's call this redirect to delete here, and we say that on click you need to redirect to delete, and pass the item.id to it. Format. Okay, and I think that's good. Let's check it here. Refresh. I click on this delete, and it says that video title first edit. Okay, it called delete video, and that's good. So let's work on this delete video. I will open this and open this to the side. So no time to work on this. This must be a delete video, and I think I don't need this input because I don't need any inputs. I just want to check that everything is good. So let's create a new h3 here, and here I have an h1 which says loading, and here it says delete video. That's good. So if it is not loading here inside this input, I have an h3, and I say that are you sure to delete this video, and format document. Okay, and then everything is like them, and they click save btn. This must change to yes, delete it, and this is just to be sure that we are deleting something, and this is okay. But let's change the name of to delete handle click delete btn, and let's change this to handle click delete btn. So this time we don't need to use a use effect because we are not loading anything. So let's delete this use effect, and that's good. So let's come here inside of my handle click delete btn and check that okay, this title is not required anymore. So let's delete this state, and also delete this title, and delete this data. We don't need to send any data to the backend. So we can simply set our loading to true, and let's format document. Okay, then inside of this Axios, let me show you, this method is a HTTP delete. So we have Axios.delete method to handle it. So again, we say that this URL slash video ID is my URL, but I don't need any data. And the next thing is everything is like the previous. So let's format our document, and let's see the result to see what we have here. Okay, let's back to the list and delete the first one. So it says that delete video. Are you sure you want to delete this video? Yes, delete it, and back to the list. Let's say back to the list. Okay, first edit. If I click this, you can see that it is deleted. That's good. Let's delete another one. Yes. Deleted another one. Yes. And it seems that our delete is working, but let's change a little bit to show that this is really important, that you are deleting something. So here inside of this delete video, for every h1 and h3, we say that your color is red. Oops, red. Okay, format document. And I think, no, that's good. And let's check it. Okay, back to list, refresh. And it seems that it is not working. Why? Let's check it. So we have delete video.scss, delete video.scss. That's good. And okay, this is the problem. This must be delete video. And okay, now you can see that it is working. Let's see if we have another color for this, because we are going to show. Okay, let's check error format document. Okay, no, that's much more better. No, when we are on this delete video, we can simply see that everything is red and it is a warning to see that we are deleting something. If I click this, I will back to my list, and if I click this yes delete it will delete. So let's have a little configurations here. I want to change this color. No, this color is good, but let's change these two colors. And let's come here, let's close this delete and go inside of my home. So open to the side, and here inside of this right btns I have two SVG. So inside of this right I have .btns, and I have two different SVGs. So for the first one, you can add some classes, or you can add some using some selectors. I can simply add them a class name of, for example, edit btn, and a class name of delete btn. So inside of right btns I have dot delete btn, and I say your color is let's say, for example, yellow. And let's copy this, and for the delete btn I say your color is red. Let's format document and see if it is working or not. Yes, that's good, but this is not so good. So let's change this. I say I want this color, for example. I don't know what is. Okay, no, it's much more better. So let's refresh and let's delete everything. Delete, yes. Delete, yes. Okay, now you can see that when this list is empty, nothing is shown. So let's come here and fix it. Inside of these cards, we say that if videos dot length equals to 0 and h1 with no videos yet. Format document, let's see if it is. Yes, you can see that I now have no videos yet, and let's simply add another class to this because it is much more better. So for this h1 I say your class name is no video, and it is inside of cards. So let's go to the cards here. Inside of cards, before this I say I have this class, and I say your padding is foreign. I think, okay, I think that's enough. No videos yet. I think that's really good. And let's close everything. So let's refresh. And I think this is really good. Let's check everything. So we have CRUD functionalities. The first thing is create. So let's check it. I'm using this button. I say new title of final CRUD test. Let's copy this and have it. Okay, I will save. It is created. New title of final CRUD with its time, its URL, and its btns for edit and delete. So this was our creation or our create of CRUD. The next thing is read. You can see that we are reading this, and if we come here, it reads from the backend with this ID. That's so good. The next thing is update. So using this button, we can simply update. For example, update 1 2 3 4 5 6 save. You can see that it is updated. So the last thing is delete, and in the CRUD the last one is delete. So we delete and delete video. Are you sure you want to delete this video? Yes, and it is deleted. So it seems that we created the base functionality of CRUD inside of our React project using the backend we was created from an ASP.NET Core project. So this was the final step of our project, and you saw that we had a great solutions, which was a full stack project using ASP.NET version 7 and also React and TypeScript. And so this was the basic functionalities, but now you can work on adding another features and adding, for example, some themes, some dark mode, and working on its responsiveness. I don't want to waste your times anymore, because I just wanted to show you that how is a complete solution working when you are working as a full stack developer. So let me know if there is any comment or problem, and like this video, leave me some comments and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, have a good time, and goodbye.